Hello and welcome to the Fulcrum Podcast, where we find the balance or fall off the seesaw trying. Today we have two guests, Pauline and Natasha, the founders of My Career Angels. Natasha empowers individuals to succeed in their careers with tools for lasting confidence. She also considers herself a loyal friend, which really excites me because modern friendship is a topic I find really juicy. Pauline specializes in career coaching, resume writing, and the best coffee rituals before a job interview. And I'm keen on hearing more about that in this conversation. Pauline and Natasha, welcome to the Fulcrum Podcast.
Hi,
Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So Pauline, let's start off with your coffee rituals because I've got my nice hot beverage here. Let's talk about the best rituals to prepare for a job interview.
For a job interview. Okay, well, first I think it's really important to preface that if coffee makes you really jittery and anxious, don't do it. But say if you're like me, a coffee is something that I take time out for myself. Like this is like me time. So like in the mornings when I have my coffee, my kids want to talk to me. I say, no. This is mama's time. So I just need that 10 minutes. So it's almost like a meditative thing. So if that is something how you feel like coffee is for you, then I suggest that you take that time, have that coffee.
Yeah.
For me, it would be a coffee. Just even if you go to a coffee shop before the interview, somewhere local, sit down and have that moment to yourself is really important. Just clear your mind. Yeah, have a hot drink, something warm, it's just soothing. And I mean, I get bored easily, so I am on my phone, but then when I'm on my phone, I'm reading something, I'm looking at like Instagram or something. So it does take your mind away. Usually coffee is quite social as well. So, if you're with other people, you have a chat, and again, takes your mind away of things. So it is like a hug in some ways. At least for me, I don't know, some people I know really hate coffee or makes them super anxious or don't view it the way I do, but that's how I view it. So
yeah, if I have too much coffee, then I feel the jitters. But with me, before an interview, I would get a takeaway and then be really close to where the interview is, just because I get really anxious about being late. And what if I trip and fall on the way to the interview? Like I'd think of all those different scenarios. So I'll have the takeaway cup with me and I'll sit outside and I'll have it there and then get rid of the cup before I walk in. But at least I'm still enjoying that coffee, but I'm there.
Something that you said, what if I trip and fall? So I can't remember where I read this, but it was something like, if you spilled the cup of coffee before your interview, right, and you got that stain on your shirt, and you're like freaking out, like, whoa, what do I do? Apparently that makes you look more human and more relatable. And so it makes you a little bit more likable. So if you did trip and fall, I'm not saying purposely now go coffee, it's like before they come bang out,
2 coffees, one for spilling or one for drinking.
That's a good idea.
Ideal. But if it was an accident, like I'm so sorry, suddenly you're human, because in an interview, everyone tries to be absolutely perfect. Everything is, and this is what we tell our clients as well. Of course, you need to rehearse.
Yeah.
You need to answer in a certain way that aligns with what they're looking for in terms of skills and character and all that. So it is a little bit rehearsed. And of course you try to say as authentic as possible, but you're showing your best light in every step. So you're trying to come across as perfect as possible. So if suddenly there's something that's not quite perfect, then you are relatable because no one's perfect. So it's so you don't overthink too, like if I've got a stain, like that's okay. That might actually be the thing that makes it stand out.
Absolutely. I was thinking more dramatically, like I've broken a bone, but coffee stain. You're right.
Make sure you prepare your
drama.
interview sling.
Even more personable. Talk about the injury. Great icebreaker.
Next thing you know, everyone that's listening to this podcast is going to have some sort of injury.
Maybe they'll feel sorry for me.
When Natasha was mentioning tripping and falling, one of the things I was thinking about was maybe like part of her interview kit is like she has like this MMA sparring gear or something like that. So like she because like she trips and falls so much before interviews.
Got
like
my
she
helmet
got
on.
crash helmet on and stuff like that. This is like like, oh, did you go on a hike? It's like, no, I'm just preparing for an interview.
You know, aggressive stuff interviews. Yes,
I
that's it's kind of questioning the candidate. I'm like, do they have all them up?
Yeah, that's it.
Like something's off. Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of the pre-interview rituals and stuff like that, I think something that some advice I hear quite a lot is like make sure you have questions prepared. And then I see a lot of blog posts and stuff like that that say like here are like 10 questions to ask in your next interview. And when I look at those posts, I think to myself, why do you need someone to tell you what questions to ask? Like, if you're not interested like in this company, why do you want to work there? What are your thoughts on here are 10 questions you should ask?
I think it's definitely good to share, because I understand what you're saying. If you're interested and you want to work there, why do you need to know what questions to ask? Some people will know. Some people are so interested and they do the research and I want to know about this, I want to know about that. But then there are other people that are still just as interested, but they're actually scared about asking the wrong questions. Is this okay to ask? Am I stepping over a boundary? Am I going to sound like an idiot asking this question? Is this an obvious answer? So with someone assisting them and letting them know a few ideas and options of these are the type of questions that are good to ask, I think those posts are good. If they're very generic, they need to be related to your goals. What do you want to achieve in that company? And what do you really want to know? So if you ask something about, do you guys work with the community? You can say, I'm really passionate about community work. I noticed on your website that you're affiliated with XYZ organization. Can you tell me more? So you've shown that you've researched, you've shown that's actually something you're interested in and you want to know more. It's not necessarily related to your role, but it shows a little bit about you and your personality. And it's not a generic question that everyone's going to ask. So getting that feedback from professionals helps you realize, yes, this is a question to ask, or a simple question of what's the salary might not be the right question especially if it's been mentioned, or if it's a first round interview and it hasn't really touched on that yet. That could be something you can wait, unless, of course, salary is quite important to you and you need to know because you don't want to waste your time either. So that one becomes a hit and miss. You got to go with the flow of the interview and know if there's an option for it to be well below your means, then you find out. If you know this organization and you know their reputation and you know roughly where they're at, then you don't need to necessarily ask. That's a iffy one. Some people get really heated on the debate on the salary question. And really it's, in the end, what I tell our clients is, if it's really important to you, ask. And if they have an issue with it, then that is also a red flag. It's not the place for you. Yeah.
That's a good point. So it sounds like it's not necessarily about the content of the questions per se, but it's more about like making the reader feel comfortable in asking the questions, basically saying like, hey, it's completely reasonable to have concerns about money or like different aspects of the workplace. So it's almost like giving permission, because some people just feel like, hey, this might be an obvious question to ask. It might be an inappropriate question to ask. When do I ask it, kind of thing? These kind of articles try to address that in maybe a more indirect way. Is that?
Yeah, I believe so. I think some of them, sometimes when I read the articles or even just a post on LinkedIn, like, oh, that's probably not the best way to present it.
Yeah.
But usually they're written in a really good way and they give the person the confidence of, oh, I can actually ask that question. Yes.
You also got to understand who's writing the articles.
Mm.
And also there's so many, like I like to say, there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? So there's so many ways that you can write your resume. There's so many ways that you could answer a question or even like write a book. Like there's so many different ways of doing it. And there are a lot of different recruiters out there and career coaches out there. And some of them, when I listen to them say on their pages, like their Instagrams or whatever, or YouTubes, I'm like, yeah, that's really good. Like, that's what I say, but you just said that better. I really like that.
Yeah.
And with some other people, I'm like, I wouldn't give that advice. I don't feel like that's correct. So I think it's also really important to not listen to absolutely everything, because there's a lot of information out there. Not all of it is going to be correct or resonate, or, like if I was to Google like how to write a resume, the information that you get online is so basic and so generic that it's not going to give you much. So I think if you really are like, I want to know how to do this, I want to know how to do this properly, finding, say, a career coach or interview coach, someone, but making sure that they align with you as well, like their way of thinking, so you resonate with what they're saying. Because if you feel uncomfortable in an interview, it's going to come out forced. You're going to show that you're nervous or uneasy. It's not going to be authentic. And an interview needs to be authentic in many ways and should be natural. And you should feel, yes, nervous, but also comfortable at the same time. But asking a question, if you don't ask a question, like I've been in interviews, do you have any questions? No, I have no questions. That to me seems like a red flag, because like you said, it seems like you're not interested in the role. You don't really care. Now, sure, maybe through the interview process, we've already touched on things that you wanted to know about, which then makes it hard to find those other questions. And that is why they say, have a list of 10. Because if there's, you're not going to ask all 10. If you do, that's a problem. It's good. They don't like it. Interviews are not fair. They can ask you 20, but you need to ask 3. So it's not going to be entirely fair in that respect. But then the interview will go on for like half a day. But write a list. Like Natasha likes to recommend our clients to actually write that list down and bring that list with you, so you don't forget, you don't have a mind blank. So you can say, oh, yes, I do have questions. I actually have a list. Now, you've actually touched on a few of those questions I had, which is great. Thank you. But I like to follow up on or ask something else that's down on the list. At least you have something that shows an interest.
And shows that you've really been prepared. You've brought this paper with you. And also, you're not afraid to bring the paper out. It shows confidence, because some people are also afraid, like, oh, what do I put on the table? Is it okay to bring my own resume? Is it okay to take notes? It's absolutely fine to take notes during an interview, because you want to be prepared. You don't want to miss anything. So it shows that you're confident in yourself to do those extra little things as well.
I think what people tend to forget is that the person interviewing you is also a person.
Yeah.
No?
Unless it's a pre-recorded video recording.
Or an AI.
Because they will forget. So if they were to judge you for taking notes, like, but you're taking notes, what's going on? So I think that if you don't feel a good rapport with the person that's interviewing you, especially if that person's going to be your manager or someone you're going to be working with, then that's also a bit of a red flag. And a lot of people ignore red flags because they are, I want to say the word desperate, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but very eager to get a job, that they overlook at red flags. Now, I'm a victim of this. I've done that. So it's so easy for me to say, ignore the red flags, keep looking for work. I know you've been spending the last 6 months looking for work. It's okay if this job, if you see red flag, say no to it. No, of course, it's hard. But typically when you see a red flag and you like, oh, I don't connect well, or that question seems inappropriate, or what they're telling me about the role doesn't sound right, or doesn't sound like the job ad, but I'll accept it anyway. You're going to find that you were right the whole time. And 3 months later, you're going to be looking for work again, hoping to get out. And then this time you can be like, what do I put on my resume? Looks like I'm a job hopper. Or do I even include this in my resume? And I'm saying this, I've been there. And I've learned from my mistakes. Don't repeat my mistakes. It's better to take that little extra moment or accept the role knowing that you're just taking this role for income. You don't put in your resume, but keep looking. It's okay because you owe them nothing. That's a lot of people think like, oh, I just accepted a contract. Now I feel like I'm committed. You're not. It's
your business.
They'll replace you in 2 minutes if they needed to.
Yeah.
So it is.
What I would say with that is if during that interview it does come up that, oh, they've said something different about the role that was advertised, I would then question that. I would say that is your time to ask. So when they say, do you have questions? Yes, that's why you take the notes. Ask them that.
Yeah.
Because it is a two-way street. You are interviewing them as well. Yes, not for as long, like you said, Pauline, but that is your chance to ask the questions. If for whatever reason you don't get the chance, or you ask a question and you're still confused and they bring you in, they call you in for a second interview, on that phone call, clarify it again. So just, I didn't get to actually ask the question during the interview. Before we schedule in this next interview, can I just ask, can you clarify exactly the duties? Because this was mentioned and I didn't see it in the job ad. Is that part of the duties? And I think that will help you clarify. And if they're still giving you a really blurred answer, then you know that you'll be doing stuff outside of your duties.
Yeah.
I think that this happens a lot when it's an agency that's recruiting on behalf of a company because of either miscommunication, because the recruiter, they don't necessarily know the company that well, the culture, the ins and outs. And so maybe they didn't understand 100% the brief of what the responsibilities are. And so that could be a honest mistake when you do meet with the company, something else. It's not necessarily a red flag on the company side, it's just that gap. But when it is the company internally hiring and then the goalpost changes or the duties changes, trust me, I've been recruiting. I was HR on that end when it was almost impossible for me to recruit, because I'd recruit, I'd start interviewing people, and then what they want and what they're looking for is different. It's like, are you serious? So like I had to go back to the beginning, redo things, and they don't know what they want. And they're trying to find something that doesn't exist, or what they want keeps changing, or it's never going to work out, because no matter who comes in, it's not going to last. And I know that from experience. I've seen it many times. I think by asking the right questions can reveal whether it's something worth to continue pursuing or not.
Yeah, I think like what you were saying before about feelings of desperation or eagerness, I think it's there's a certain part of this that's timing as well, right? Start looking for work before you start looking for your next opportunity before you need it, kind of thing. But that can be quite difficult as well, right? Because it's not like people have this spare pocket of like let's say an hour a week, or I'm not sure how much time you would advise your clients to devote to looking for their next opportunity. But everyone's busy, right? It's not like you got that spare pocket of time, and it's probably going to cut into your downtime or time with family or something like that. Is there particular advice that you might give your clients in order to try to carve out that time?
Yes. So if it's someone who is not really looking for work, but if the next opportunity comes up, they'll be willing. So what you can do is something like, not all platforms do this, but Seek does. So if you put in what you're looking for, the type of roles, when that is promoted or advertised, then Seek will email you saying, hey, here's a job that you might be interested in. So that happens every now and then. So as soon as that job
does that too.
LinkedIn does that too. So when that happens, then you can look at that job, and you've got that luxury of applying if it seems interesting enough to you. Then yes, if you already have a good resume, and so our advice is to continuously update your resume, at least once a year. Have an updated resume, if not 6 months, depends on how fast your responsibilities change in the company.
And to take notes of your achievements. When you've done a good achievement, just plop that into your LinkedIn and your resume and your Seek resume.
Updated. So when you do see a good job, your resume is kind of good to go.
Yeah.
So when you are going to tailor that resume to the job, you might need 10, 20 minutes to upload. Also, by having a really strong LinkedIn and highlighting yourself the right way, then you can get headhunted. So when someone comes to you with an opportunity, then you can decide whether you are interested or not and submit your resume. So basically, it's getting them to come to you rather you looking for them.
Yeah.
And that saves a lot of time. So just setting up those platforms, having a resume ready to go. So putting that little bit of work in the beginning and then wait what comes. If you are really desperate, then, well, it's like a really important meeting. Like if you had a doctor's appointment, you would find the time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. So, we recommend that you job search daily, basically, if you're really desperate. But typically, new jobs come up on Mondays and Tuesdays, typically. So that's probably a good time then to look. You can just carve an hour in the evening. Quality is better than quantity, so it's better to apply to 2 really good jobs than quick apply to 10 random ones. And on the weekends, carve out extra couple of hours. That's, if you're really desperate, then you're going to find the time. You're going to make it happen. So yes, that's my advice.
One thing that Natasha was mentioning was the idea of making sure that you note down your achievements and just copy and paste them into different spots. Now, I guess in order to think about what those, or to take the time to actually notice those achievements, because like, hey, in the churn of everyday work, like it's very easy for these things to slip by, right? Unless it's like a promotion or like it's tied to some kind of compensation or something. It's very easy for it to slip by. Is there any advice you guys might give your clients in terms of pausing and taking stock to like go, hey, over this last month, these are the things that I've celebrated. These are the things that were challenging. Any kind of practices like that?
Yeah, well, I think just like you said it, pausing and taking stock of it is important. The amount of times that we've asked our clients when we've had to help them with their resume or the LinkedIn, what were your achievements? Give us a numerical figure, give us a promotion, give us this, never really sat down to think about it. I know that I've done really well because I have been promoted, but I don't know what it was. And they have to go back and really rack their brains to remember what it was or to have the figures. So definitely sitting down could be as simple as the end of each week. What was I really excited about this week? What did I go, yes, I did this. And if there wasn't anything that week, that's okay. Don't think, oh my gosh, I achieved nothing, because work is in and out every day. It could be something that you're building on. It could be a big sale that you're working on, a big contract. It could be you're getting a grant for your organization, whatever it is. Once that's done, then note it down. Keep even a Word document, save it on a file on your laptop. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just, your list that you have. And by doing that, it also motivates you internally as well. It makes you really proud of what you've done, gives you that extra boost, lets you know, I am in the right job. I am doing what I love. I am succeeding. I might not be getting praised every time, but you can praise yourself. Give yourself a little pat on the back and go, I did this. I saved the company $20,000 this week, or whatever it is. Make note of that. Another good time to do that is in your reviews. Some companies have a review every 3 months. So that will make it easier because they keep note and they normally will have a report. I mean, not all organizations, but some will have a report of what you've done, where your stats are. So ask for a copy of that to keep that as well. The companies that do the review every 6 months to a year, that is when I would say you definitely have to take note of your own achievements because they're missing a lot of it. And they're not going to bring it up to give you a promotion or a salary increase. So not just for your resume, but also if you want to stay in that company and you want to prove to them, look at what I've achieved, you'll realize the importance of taking note of your achievements. And I do encourage it to be weekly because you do forget. It just is. You forget. If you do it once a month, by the end of the month, I don't even remember what I did the first week of this month. It just is because work gets really busy. And especially if you're in a high stress, high intensity environment place, you're going to forget.
Yeah.
So weekly, sit down and just do it. Even if it's, the last half an hour of work on a Friday.
Yeah. Do it at work time.
That's what I mean. Do it at work.
To pay you to highlight your achievements.
Because you can say, well, I'm doing this for my personal growth within my position here for my reporting. That's fine.
And one of the biggest issues I think a lot of people face is imposter syndrome. So they don't think that they've achieved anything, or that it wasn't them. It was, well, yeah, but that was so easy. That was nothing. You don't devalue what you've done. Even if it was a team effort, it's still, you're part of that.
Yeah.
You're still part of that. You still contributed to the team. And then the other side is, if you're in a position where you're not in a position to create a lot of achievements. For example, you're not in a position to sell $20,000 worth of product in a week, or hit certain particular KPIs. That doesn't mean that you still haven't done any achievements. So you could look at your tasks in how quickly do you perform the task. So for example, you're in an administrative role, right? And you've got deadlines. How are you going about deadlines? How did you go about picking up any sort of errors, or did you create a policy or a process that improved the way things are going? The achievements could be just the relationships that you've created, with clients and, the other people within the company. So you got to think about your role and what is it that other companies would be looking for in their ideal candidate for that role. So if it is admin, let's just say, what are they looking for? What kind of person? They probably want someone with accuracy, speed type, for example, a particular skill, a particular way of shorthand note taking, the
relationship building,
ability to create processes that is more efficient and effective, therefore actually does help save money down the line, because you're actually able to do the work faster. Maybe it is about like Natasha, the connections you build, whatever it is that will make you stand out. And that is an achievement in itself. So, because not everyone, and you might think, oh, everyone can do that. No, not everyone. I wouldn't be able to short note or type fast, or, not everyone is able to do it. So don't take away and devalue yourself because you think that it's nothing special, because it's actually that what could make you stand out. I love resumes. It's such a weird thing to like, but I do. And so when I was when I started off my career in HR, I was actually doing, I was working for a small boutique company. We did everything. So we did recruitment and HR, like outsourcing our services. So a lot of it was recruitment. And when I got a bad resume, I wouldn't call that person, but just for fun, while I was on the phone, talking to a candidate or something, I would just update that bad resume and fix it up just for fun. And then I wouldn't even save it. I'm like, okay.
I was going to say, did you send it back to them? I was like, just here you go.
So one time I felt very compelled to call that person, a particular individual, and tell them that it wasn't good, because it was just so bad. And they actually had no idea they sent through the wrong documents. So like, oh my God, I thought I had information in there. And I'm like, no, there's nothing. Your resume is something's amiss. So it was, so I felt compelled. But no, and then I'll do my friends' resumes if they ask me, just for fun, So I do enjoy resumes. It's my flow. I talk about that a lot. Natasha, I was so sick of hearing. Ikigai, you ready? Ikigai?
Yeah. The overlapping circles. Yeah.
So I might not want to start the resume. I'm like, oh, another resume. But once I'm in it, I am so in it that I don't even want to finish. Once it's done, I'm like, oh, bye. And, sometimes I look at it for a while, just admire its beauty, so I do. I'm very passionate about the resume. Yeah.
That's awesome. we're actually coming up to time here. The time has just absolutely flown. Where can our folks find out more about you and your work?
Yeah, so we are My Career Angels, as Joey mentioned earlier, and we have our website, mycareerangels.com.au. We also are on LinkedIn, and we do have a podcast as well called Career Reshaped on YouTube and Spotify. But reach out to us. You can reach us through our website or through LinkedIn or anywhere, and we're happy to have a chat with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we help with everything. We do general career coaching, career change, resume writing. So we'll be working with me.
Interview, LinkedIn, all of it.
Interview coaching. So we do all of it.
Everything's connected. You know, if you're going to help someone in one part of the career journey, like you need to do the rest. It's what makes sense. At least to us, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe